Hi. Hello, everyone. God blessings to you all, and happy Thanksgiving. And I hope you are all having a good Thanksgiving today. It's a beautiful day here in Las Vegas. I'm very fortunate that I have my family here to have Thanksgiving with me. Anyway, the purpose, the reason why I'm making this video is because I wanted to talk about Squanto, the Native American who helped the Pilgrims survived in this new world, which is what we call now the United States. And in my book, to me, he's a saint, and I think he should be canonized as a saint. Of course, I don't know the full story of Squanto. I don't think anybody does, even though I've studied history. There might be a reason probably why he's not a saint today. Reason being is that he was probably influenced by the Puritans and perhaps the Calvinists as well too, because the Pilgrims were pretty much consisted of mostly Puritans with some Calvinists in there, and Squanto was a Catholic. Um, anyway, before I talk about him, I wanted to give you a little bit of background on him. Um, I know that he was captured by Thomas Hunt, the British guy. But to the extent I'm not really sure. Usually, when Europe comes here to the New World back then, it's usually because of fur trade, and the Native Americans usually supplies them with fur trades. In exchange, the Europeans give some hardware like pots and pans and such. I'm gonna go on speculation and say Squanto was probably traded, perhaps because back then, early Native Americans they always had tribal wars, and Squanto was probably caught in that, and then he was probably captured by the other tribes. And usually, when a tribe captures other tribes, they usually enslave them. And I have a feeling that Squanto was captured, and then he was traded, and Thomas Hunt uh, took him, probably in exchange for muskets. Because if I remember history correctly, when it comes to slave, they get a huge it's a huge trade deal for the Native Americans. They usually get muskets, and they usually prefer that, and they trade off their slaves. So Squanto was trafficked in Spain. So Thomas Hunt took him to Spain and then started trafficking him there. I'm sure he wasn't the only one that was traded. I'm sure he had a whole bunch of other groups too from his tribe that were sold as slaves in Spain. Even though the Pope back then, I'm not really sure. I think it was Pope Pius the 23rd. I could be wrong on that one. Already decreed that slavery is illegal, but that took a while to kick in, because it's like us Catholics today. When the Pope decrees something, not all of us follow it. It takes a while for us to follow what's been decreed. And I'm sure back then, because of the lack of communication as well, it took them a while to accept that slavery is illegal and it's a sin to own slaves. But anyway, with Squanto, the good thing about it is that the monks, and I think they were Jesuits. Some say they're Franciscans, but I think more likely they're Jesuits. The Jesuits monks bought him, and then their goal was to bring him back home to the New World, to take him back home. Sorry, that didn't happen. Instead, Squanto ended up staying with them for quite a while, and he learned the Catholic ways. And I'm sure he learned about the Bible, the Catholic tradition, the prayers, the Mass. And at that young age, it's really good, because he probably absorbed a lot of that. And then later on, the monks gave him to someone in order for him to come back here. He went to England, stayed there for several years, and then from England, he was able to come back to the New World, which is now the United States. And we're very fortunate for the Pilgrims to have encountered them, because the Pilgrims, they were heavily persecuted by Queen Elizabeth. When they landed here in the New World in the Plymouth Rock, they encountered Squanto, and pretty much the Pilgrims have suffered quite a bit, because on their way here, they were dying already of diseases and starvation. And then when they got to the New World, they were still dying of diseases and starvation, because they didn't know how to live here. Everything here is so foreign to them. And then, in my opinion, God, decreed it that, they survive, and God sent Squanto to them. And what a blessing he was. A guy that can speak not only just Spanish, but also English, because of his stay in England. And he was able to show them how to live off the land. And that's how Thanksgiving was born. And then from what I read, he stayed with them for 20 more years to teach them how to live. Not only how to live, but how to make a living, I should say, when it comes to fur trades with the Europeans and such. So Squanto is definitely, in my book, a saint. So this Thanksgiving, I know I not only think about the pilgrims that came to this country, but most of all, I think about Squanto. And in my book, he is a saint. All right. God bless you all, and happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.